going to talk about the charges that were released around the mass shooting that occurred in Kansas City. Because it's the guns' fault, Tim. It's all the guns,
Yeah.
guns, the effing guns.
Yes.
Um,
Did they drop all the
one
charges
problem.
against the firearms?
Yes. It turns out the charges were not against the firearms. The firearms were actually not found culpable in the actions taken on that day. But you know who was? Funny you should bring it up. Let me show you. 6 people were firing guns, Tim.
6.
Isn't that weird?
6.
6.
So I think in the beginning we saw there were 2, maybe 3. Then one
2 or
wasn't
3,
involved. Then
yeah.
there was just one shooter. But now we find out, there were 6.
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't smack of
it's
gang
odd.
violence whatsoever. I mean, this doesn't not know. This is
Exactly.
If there was a school somewhere in the same zip code, this belongs in the K-12 database as another school shooting. Yes,
it would.
Yeah.
Nailed it. You are right on track. We are rocking and rolling. But it turns out, Tim, that it wasn't just that 6 people were using guns. Number 2, Doctor. 12 people allegedly brandished guns, and 6 of them fired shots.
Yeah. Nah. These are just regular old folks going about their business, and it was high noon, and apparently it was just time for a gunfight, and it was not planned.
Yeah, I mean, really,
it wasn't to opposing gangs. These aren't criminals. These are just good, law-abiding citizens that just happen to find themselves in an unfortunate circumstance where it's the guns that made them do it, I guess, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And you know what else probably I bet happened? Because you did say it was high noon.
Yeah.
There was probably a bird, and a bird probably made the wrong call and went, and then it was on.
Spaghetti Western,
and
baby.
Then
you know what it was.
It was.
Braden. We know what it is now. Oh my gosh, how can we overlook this? An acorn must have fallen on a car.
Oh no!
And
not
then they
the
all
acorn
went.
cup.
Yeah, they thought each other. They thought it was the other guy with the gun, and in the end, it was the acorn. It's got to be that. Yep.
So what do you? There's an opportunity to get banned on the internet. What do you call it when 12 people are brandishing guns at each other in a area? I mean, I know what the one with 3 people is. I don't know what the dodecagonal.
I couldn't tell
what would
you.
even? I don't even. Dose. I don't. Man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something. We'll think of a name later, but
it was the chess club just letting out, and that acorn hit and chaos ensued. It had nothing to do with bad actors or gang violence. Nothing like that.
No, exactly. No, I think we painted a complete picture. It was high noon. There were multiple chess club members. A bird made the wrong bird call. It was a string of unfortunate events.
Yes, the bird made the wrong call.
Lemony Snicket's up in
ran
here.
into an acorn in a tree, which fell and hit a car, and it just popped off, and everything just kind of went south.
Popped off.
Yep.
Yeah. Of course, that's not what happened, Tim, but that was a fun little adventure that we went down. Yeah, it turns out that, remember when the chief of police was like there were multiple groups and they were it was after a fight. And well, maybe the guns started fighting and the people ran to apprehend those guns because of their unbelievable actions. Well, no, that didn't happen either. In fact, Tim, it got worse when we pull up the number 3 for evidence for the court. Prosecutors said Wednesday that 3 men have been charged with federal firearms trafficking offenses. Stemming from weapons recovered at the scene. You hate to see it. You do. And Tim, oh my gosh. And a variety of illegal trafficking and straw purchase offenses.
Imagine that. Imagine that. And you know what? We have laws on the books for that.
Do we?
And I could tell you gun store owner after gun store owner after gun store owner that has reported a straw purchase to suspected criminals. The ATF generally does nothing. And most every gun store owner will tell you that. So they put all these laws on the books, 20-some thousand nationwide. They don't enforce the ones that they have, but they want to impose more. But because they don't care about actually trying to stop crime or criminals, they just want to take your guns away. So
or have more laws in order to find something to put you away.
So what's the purpose of passing a law if you're not going to enforce it? I don't agree with the laws. Don't take it that way.
I'm with 100%. Don't get it twisted, right?
Right. I can see the comment section now. What I'm saying is we have 20,000 gun laws on the books, many of which they never enforce. And then they go, well, we need more gun laws. I mean, this isn't going to
Right.
stop until we pass the most comprehensive legislation in 30 years, but that's just the beginning. We need them all, So anyway.
Yeah. So what do you think the over under is that we're going to get some retractions from like Mom Demand Action, Everytown for Gun Safety, and those guys? You think there's any chance that they're going to say, "Hey, we were wrong, sorry"?
No, this is definitely
Yeah,
going into
probably
the mass shooting. This is like a super mass shooting. This is
it's super duper mass
yeah.
shooting.
This is this is the uber mass shooting, and
Yeah.
well, I mean, it depends because there's so many other factors that go into news reporting on such events, right? Um,
Yeah.
Things that you don't typically want to get into because of the isms that get thrown at you.
No, of course,
But
it's bad. It's not a good look.
but sometimes when these things happen, when it comes to light, the people that are involved in the background information, like perhaps gang violence and stuff like that, it no longer fits the narrative, so it just kind of quietly goes under the rug, and we move on to the next one.
Was that a dog whistle that I just heard, Tim? Did
dog
you
whistle?
just blow a dog whistle?
I don't have a dog whistle.
I didn't hear it.
I don't have
I
a
mean,
dog
humans can't hear it.
No.
Only dogs can, which brings up an interesting point of how it actually works and triggers people. But anyway, that's a different thing for a different time. But it turns out, Tim, not only did we have illegal trafficking going on, we had straw purchasing going on. We had multiple groups. We had 12 different guns brandished, 6 of which shot. So 50% shot rate.
It's the guns.
Well, it turns out it is the guns, but something else happened.
Uh-oh.
The ATF made a big announcement. Big one. So a second 300 caliber pistol recovered from the scene was allegedly purchased by one of the guys at a gun show last year and then given to Groves, who was too young to legally buy the gun. And hold on, here comes ATF. Or the U.S. attorneys, rather. Stopping straw buyers and preventing illegal firearms trafficking is our first line of defense against gun violence. Teresa Moore, U.S. attorney for the Western District of Missouri, said in a statement, at least 2 of the firearms recovered from the scene of mass shooting at Union Station were illegally purchased or trafficked.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm waiting. Oh, no, here comes the payoff. Quote, these arrests serve as a notice to those who think they can illegally traffic guns into our communities or straw purchase firearms, said Bernard Hansen, ATF Kansas City Field Division Special Agent in charge. That's the message it sent?
Yeah, these arrests serve as notice to those. Okay, so you mean these arrests that happened long after the crime had taken place, long after the shots were fired? I would say that they're not doing anything to enforce these laws about straw purchases whatsoever. And I know, like I said earlier, I know so many gun store owners over the years. ATF doesn't respond to reports, even if they try to do something to stop, like the known gang members coming in to buy 15 Glock 17s, and they say no, and they report to ATF. They do nothing. And then we get this really tough statement here. These arrests serve as notice to those who think they can illegally traffic. You ain't doing anything to stop it, pal. You're allowing this to happen, even though you got the laws you claim are going to stop all of this on the books. It ain't working now, is it? Because it's the guns, so they don't care about the criminals.
Did you notice something else, Tim? I think you just touched on it.
What's that?
We're talking about a quote unquote mass shooting between 12 individuals in conflict with each other. 6 of them shot each other. 22 people were injured. 1 was killed. And they're talking about the main thing that'll serve as notice is you don't illegally traffic firearms or do straw purchases. You don't talk about gang violence, shooting at people, brandishing weapons, killing innocents. You don't any of that.
No.
But it's guns. This is what's going to serve as the notice. This is going to serve as notice, Tim. Those people who are involved in the action of a gun battle in public. Yep, they really are, folks. They should have thought harder about straw purchasing and illegally trafficking firearms.
And we were sold the bill of goods that, the NICS background check system, Braden, was going to stop all crime. It was just going to make everything all better. And then we fixed NICS because it had some loopholes in it. And then we passed the Safe First Communities Act, which is going to save us all. And yet we get to that last paragraph.
Man, I mean, but it taught them. It taught them, though.
It is so frustrating.
They got taught.
It is so frustrating. Mm-hmm. They just piled these laws on again. They don't care about the outcomes. They don't care about any of this other than they enjoy these news stories because it gets them further towards their end goal, which is just to collect them all. As Dianne Feinstein famously said, if I had the votes, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in. That's where they want to go with this. They don't have one bit of interest in saving a single life or stopping a single crime. They need this chaos so they can get their agenda.
But look at New York, though. I mean, like a good case in point as we're wrapping this segment. look at New York with the sensitive places. They've gone tooth and nail to fight sensitive places across the board, and they've had 2 shootings in Times Square where there are sensitive places, and they don't even charge
And they
them
don't
with
charge
sensitive
anybody.
places.
Goes to my point.
Like,
They
they
don't care. Yeah. They put these
don't
laws
even
in the books.
charge
They don't enforce them. They allow this chaos. That's encouraging the chaos because other shooters are going to go, well, they're not even going to arrest me or charge me. I might as well go shoot everybody in Times Square. They're
as
creating
long as
this.
I don't straw purchase.
And I've been saying this for the last year of our show. I've been saying this. In the beginning, you were like, what? And now you agree with me, right? They're allowing this chaos.
Oh no, I'm still on the. Could you maybe soften it a little? But I do see where you're coming from. Maybe the verbiage,
right?
Maybe.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I do keep my aluminum foil hat on hand just in case.
Oh, that's a good one.
But
it's a good one.
They need this chaos. They absolutely need this chaos to push their agenda forward, and they're more than happy to let it happen.
Let me run it by the HR department for our YouTube channel real quick. Hold on, here he comes. He's going to make a statement. Hypothetically, if one were to want to push a political agenda in which crisis were required to convince people out of their rights, this would be a convenient exercise in doing such thing in a hypothetical scenario. There we go. That was coming in from the HR department. That was from the HR department. That was official. There we go. We're covered now.